Hello everybody, this is the ReTeach video. Okay, this is the same problem I did in class and most of you got this right, so I'm going to go over this kind of quick. First question says AD is parallel to EH. That is a given, so you need to draw your arrows. Then the next thing says EFB, so we go to EFB, and this is not the test question, this is my own question that I had. Is congruent to ABC. Remember, that means look at the middle letter. Then you have to say what kind of angles these are from the word bank. Okay, these are corresponding angles. So corresponding. You actually label your picture, it makes it a lot easier to solve. Okay, next one says ABC. So we go up here to ABC. Is congruent to FBD. So FBD. So we're at a crisscross. So you look at what kind of angles these are. These are vertical angles. So they want to know why is EFB, which is this one, congruent to FBD, which is this one. So we know they're alternate interior, so this cannot, oh, it's not even in the word bank. Alternate interior cannot be the choice as to why they're congruent. The reason why they're congruent is because both of these angles share ABC. And as you can see, ABC on my picture is green, so that's the shared angle. So when they share an angle, you can cross it out, and that basically tells you that these two angles are equal to each other. Transitive property is the reason why we can cross out the shared angle and say that these two are equal. Okay? So tomorrow, make sure you look for a shared angle, cross it out, say that the two remaining angles are equal to each other because of transitive. All right. This is the next picture that I'm going to show you. This is a proof that we didn't go over. So it says AC is the angle bisector of BAD. Remember, you're supposed to look at the middle letter. So BAD is here. So I make one big angle. And then that tells me that this angle is congruent to this angle. And whenever you have an angle bisector, you see it says angle bisector, that means you take these two angles, bisect it, and show that they're equal using tick marks. And then the next thing says AB, which is this line, is congruent to AD. So then they said prove ABC is congruent to ADC. So ignore this. So first thing we need to do is write down our givens. You'll notice on your quiz, the givens were not in order. You had one given that was number 1, and then the other given, I think, that was number 4. Your givens are not going to be in order sometimes. And then the next thing I need to write is the name of these two angles with the tick marks. So it's BAC is congruent to DAC. And the reason for that is these angles were created by an angle bisector. So we say definition of an angle bisector. Okay, the next thing is we have our reflexive, which is this line here. So AC is congruent to AC. You had a reflexive on the test. You guys even got that wrong. Remember I told you, don't get your reflexive wrong because it's always the same thing equal to each other. Some of you had like XY is congruent to XZ. That's not reflexive. Reflexive means it's the same thing. It's like almost like a reflection. All right, now if you label everything, it comes out to SAS. So these two triangles are congruent by SAS. Now, if for some reason they had an extra line, like if they said prove, because on the test it said prove 2 lines were congruent. So if they said BC was congruent to DC, why would those two be congruent? That is when you put CPCTC. This always comes after one of these rules. If you write HL, the next one would be this. If you wrote AAS, the next one would be this. All right, so most of you missed points on the quiz because you had written reflexive wrong, you didn't mark up your picture. So this is very important to mark up your picture. And it's also very important to make sure that you have everything in the proper order. All right, so just to show you a couple of examples of how the fill in the blanks would look. So you would write your given, and then you would fill in the blanks with the right answers and the right reasons. Okay, remember the statement is stating two things are equal, and the reason is why are they equal. And remember, in order to get to this point, you have to have 1, 2, 3 statements with a congruent. And if you don't have 3 statements that are congruent, you can't get to this point. All right, so I promised to make this video short because it was a short test, so good luck on your retake. If you have questions, please email me. Bye.